So in part one, I opened you up to the possibility of healthily airing out your grievances and telling you that it's not complaining, but there's a fine line. In this video, I'll go over when and where to air your grievances so that it's not complaining. I remember years ago, my mom would always talk to me about her problems, and I always had the thought, I don't want to hear about your problems. I want you to solve them. Like, stop telling me about your weaknesses. And then I got to experience the flip side of that at college. I was sitting with my boys at the table for breakfast, and one of my friends was like this really hyper-masculine guy, and I was telling him about these relationship problems I was having, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, stop talking about your weaknesses. Don't tell anyone your weaknesses." And I told him, "I'm talking about them because I want you to help me with them." And it occurred to me, that's why my mom talked about her weaknesses to me. That's why people complain or talk about their weaknesses at all. They're secretly, like, they're asking you for help indirectly. I keep trying to lift my hand because my dog keeps trying to, like, lick my hand because I have cream on it. Anyways, she's still licking. People are secretly asking for help, but they don't have the bravery to just outright ask. So that's one thing that could make all the difference in the world. That's what turns a complaint into airing a grievance, is prefacing it or asking at the end for help. Like, blatantly asking the other person, "Hey, what do you think?" Or, "I need some help with this." Like, it doesn't have to be begging, doesn't have to be embarrassing. Literally just say, "Hey, like, I know you're not an expert, but I have this problem and I want some external advice." And yeah, just doing that, and immediately it's not complaining anymore. And also doing what I did, which is doing it rarely. Like, I put up with quite a bit of vexation on the job before I finally aired my grievances to my friend and to my mom. And while I was enduring it, I also tried to deal with it on my own by remembering all the self-improvement stuff I learned, all the Stoicism, some Buddhism, some Christianity. And that leads me to possibly the most important point of this video. You probably are of the belief that it's okay to ask for help as long as you put in some initial effort first. And that's true, but the problem is what you think of as initial effort is not really initial effort. What you think of when you think initial effort is actually like outright solving the situation or almost solving it. I know this because I feel that way too, or I used to feel more like this way. I'm getting better at it, but like, you have this weird thing where you think it's only okay to ask for help once you've done enough that you basically almost solve the problem yourself to begin with. You only think it's okay to ask for help when you don't really need the help. I know this is common because over the winter break, I had to interview a friend of mine for a psychology assignment in a psychology winter class I was taking, and it was on mental health. And one of the things that he ended up talking about was that he tries to deal with it himself before he goes to people for help. And he ended up telling me that he went through this depressive episode that lasted like 1.5 to 2 years, and it made me think, well then, you probably could have gotten help much sooner than dealing with it yourself. I know what you're feeling. Like, I know everyone has their own life, everyone has their own problems. You can't just constantly go to people for help over and over again. And you should make a genuine effort to deal with your problems before getting other people involved. But the thing is, like, while all that is true, the thing is, if you just never end up making that initial effort, you might just want to take the L and get the help. It's better than just staying in abject misery. Or if not that, like, if you're genuinely making an effort but you keep failing over and over and over again, that's fine. You don't need to succeed. If you keep failing, like, as long as you're making the genuine effort. And if you are making the genuine effort and you have success after success, like I said, you don't need the help at that point and you just won't ever get it. So open your mind up to the possibility of airing your grievances with the specific stated intent. Make it clear to the other party that you want their advice or help. Because if you wait until you've made enough progress on your own, that just means you'll either wait until the problem is nearly solved or you're waiting for the problem to be outright solved yourself. And it's not gonna be. Like, if you're waiting this long, it's like, just get the help and it'll make things go along much smoother. You're not less for it. See you on the flip side. Lewis and Doggo out.